Should we talk about the fans forum from last night? First of all, you had a chance to meet a few people, and by all accounts, it went pretty well.
Yeah, it's always good. I mean, it would have been easy to cancel it after such a bad result last weekend, but I think it's important that we get into those sort of things and explain to some of the fans if they've any questions or anything they would like to put to me. I think it went quite well. I think we tried to answer every question as fairly as I could. And it was a good night, to be fair.
Yeah, did generally people have a lot to say?
Yeah, there was quite a lot of questions, on various different matters, really. I think it's, like I say, it's important that you answer them as fairly and as open as you can, and I think I did that.
And with last weekend, obviously you'll want to keep it in mind. You don't want to dismiss it entirely, but equally, I suppose there's no point in agonising over it now. It is really important that you put it to one side and move on.
No, it is. It is dismissed. It's been dismissed since Monday. It was a bad day at the office, but it's completely gone now. Our only focus is looking forward to the next game. It's a good game for us. Swindon had a good result last week against Bolton. We had a bad result, so we need to make sure we respond and respond in the right way. It's always a nice pitch there. It's a big pitch. It'll suit the way we like to play. I think it'll be a good footballing game. I think it's two teams who like to play, and hopefully on the day that we can come out on top. We need to get back on track now, and start climbing up the league a bit more. We've dropped off it over the past 3-4 league games, and now it's time that we kick on.
Yeah, and Swindon, always a club who seem to use loans in particular quite aggressively. They've been doing that in recent weeks. Their results have been a little bit mixed, but do you anticipate that with the new players in, that'll start to make a difference?
Listen, whatever Swindon have got, that's down to them, really. They have brought a couple of good loan players in. Obviously, Ben Gladwin's played at this league and is a good player in this league. Was really good for them when they, I think they got to the playoffs, the year they got their playoffs. So we know about him. The young lads from Chelsea, I don't know too much about. I've seen them play, but don't know too much about them. So they have used it quite well in terms of bringing players in the window. I know they have lost a few, and Doherty's gone back to QPR, things like that. So that's Swindon's prerogative. It's up to them who they bring in, and they've brought a few loan players in. So we just need to make sure we concentrate on the game now. We've got 21 massive games coming up. We need to try and get as many points as we can over the next 3.
It sounded from what you were saying last weekend that there was a bit of debate between yourselves and the players. I guess from knowing you during your playing career, you were always the sort of player who was keen to speak up if you felt something needed saying. Is that something that you encourage now you're a manager and see as quite healthy?
100%. I think win, lose or draw, you've got to speak up in the changing room. You got to have people who are men and are willing to state when you're winning and if you lost the game, that what you think's right and what you think's wrong. So the players hurt as much as the fans do. I explained that to the fans last night in the fans forum. They hurt the whole way home on the bus on Saturday. I'm sure they hurt all day Sunday. But Monday morning comes around quite quickly, and you got to forget about it in football. There's no point of dwelling on things. You move on very quickly. We've got a chance now to put it right against Swindon on Saturday, and I'm sure the boys will respond.
Yeah, really important as well, not to throw the baby out with the bathwater, in that a lot of what you've been doing over a long period of time has been really good. So don't get too fixated on one hiccup.
Exactly. I think we've lost 2 and 14, and if you take the Chelsea game out of it, 3 and 14. We're still in a good form. We're still in a really good frame of mind getting into the last stretch of the season. We just got to make sure everyone stays, on the level ground. No one's jumping too far ahead or thinking about previous games, and I even mean by games that you've won, because they're gone. The only thing you can worry about now is the next one, and we've drummed that into the players this week. I've had a couple of meetings with them in terms of just going over again the way we want to play, the roles and responsibilities in a meeting room, on the training ground, and just so there's no grey areas and everyone's clued in on their job.
With the injuries, obviously really frustrating to lose Dominic Ball last weekend. Is he getting any closer to a return?
Yeah, I mean, listen, injuries are injuries. They happen. You know what I mean? It's like I haven't been one to dwell on the injuries this season, even though we've had some big ones. They are what they are. They can't affect our team when they're sitting in the training in the treatment room. Sorry. So, Bally was disappointing. He just went over his shoulder last Tuesday in a 21 game. We thought he might have a chance of playing. We brought him to the game with us, but still sore Saturday morning. He's trained all week this week. He's fine. It's got a bit better. You know, we thought we may need to send him for a scan, but with he probably may still have one at some stage. But he's trained all week, and I'm sure he'll be good to go Saturday.
Yeah, and the great thing about having Ball around is it just gives you an extra option, doesn't it? With Jack Baldwin currently out of the picture, Michael Bostwick, we know about his flexibility and where he can play, so it's great to have that as another option in your armoury. Yeah,
well, it is. I mean, we brought Harry Anderson back because we knew that Hayden possibly wanted to go and play some games. So we brought him back because I know Harry can play in a right back position if we needed to, him, or in midfield. And when he comes back and we find out he's done his knee, it's a bit disappointing. We lost Jack Baldwin. So we have been a bit stretched in terms of the defensive side of the game, but we've been very, very good defensively. Apart from the Bury game, up to then, I think it's probably the best defensively we've been since I've been at the football club, even when I was playing. So the boys have been good. They're not going to, that game against Bury is not going to hamper them for the rest of the season. But yeah, it was disappointing to lose Bally because we were quite stretched defensively, but it's good to have him back now.
Could Andrew Hughes do you a job at centre-back if you wanted to, or do you see him very much as a left-back?
He could do, yeah. He's played there for Newport, but I think he's been outstanding in the position he's played this season. We brought him here as a left-back, and I think Hughes been performed at high standard, 7, 8 out of 10 most weeks. He just needs to keep on top of that now. That's my job and Glove's job and Faz's job, just to keep on top of those sort of people and just to demand more from them every single day of the week, and Hughes is one that will respond to that. Yeah,
and you mentioned about an unnamed injury concern last week. I think did that turn out to be Michael Bostwick? Is he now better this week? Has he had a chance to get a few minutes in training and all the rest of it?
Yeah, I mean, we went into last week not knowing whether we were going to have Bostwick or Ball. Luckily, Bozzy pulled through, but he's been fine this week. He missed Monday, I think it was, and he's trained the rest of the week. So good to have Bozzy back to his old self, really, and he's trained well this week, and Bozzy's ready to go as well at the weekend.
Shaq Coulthurst moving on to Mansfield today. Obviously a move for him had been in the pipeline for a little while. Does that work out well for everyone, for him to be getting some games with Mansfield, and I think also perhaps with a view to a permanent?
Yeah, I think it's just right. We've got Paul Taylor, Leon Gold, Tom Nichols Jr. Shaq's game time come a bit limited. Even though when he was in the team was on a good run. Without Shaq scoring goals, but centre forwards at this club are always going to be judged on goals. I think Shaq's been here 12 months now, and I'm not sure whether he's got close to double figures really. So that's something that's at this football club. You need, if you're a centre forward, you need to score goals, and you'll be judged on that and nothing else. I'd even say the same in terms of attacking midfield players as well. So I think it was right for Shaq. It's never right having somebody. We had Ricardo Santos, Hayden White, Shaq, and they didn't play as much as they'd like, and they're good pros, so they want to go and play football. And who am I to stand in their way of fulfilling the dream of playing football every Saturday? We couldn't give them the chances here as much as they'd like, and it was only right that they went and got some games.
Do you think with Shaq that there is the potential somewhere down the line that the penny will drop, and whatever is holding him back in terms of getting goals on a regular basis could yet happen? Because he puts the work in, doesn't he? And he's clearly got a lot of ability, but he just needs to somehow find that extra.
Yeah, I mean, you look at centre forwards in the league in terms of Billy Sharp, the centre forward at Bristol Rovers, Taylor. They all didn't start scoring until they're 24, 25. You know what I mean? And it's they're coming to the fore now. They're big goal scorers in this league, and they're scoring a lot of goals. And Shaq people, will come good. I believe so. I think he'll start scoring goals for someone, whether it be Mansfield. He'll start scoring goals, but when it's at this club, it's hard to hit the ground running. We've seen over the years of centre forwards hitting the ground running really quickly, and Dwight Gilbert, Assumbalonga, Michael Smith, McLean, over the years, and the Peterborough fans and the whole club's used to that. And if you don't hit the ground running right away, then right away you've got a rod for your own back, really. You know what I mean? So centre forwards know that when they come to this club, if they hit the ground running, they score some goals, and big things happen to them after that.
Yeah, and as part of the Mansfield statement on Call Thirst, they mentioned that they're still interested in taking a third player from you. I would guess that's Paul Taylor, given the interest they've already mentioned. But from your point of view, and I know you and Tails have a good working relationship, presumably you're pretty keen to see him here for the rest of the season.
Paul Taylor's gone nowhere. That's a fact. I don't know where that conversation's come from. No one spoke to me from Mansfield in terms of Paul Taylor. He'll not be going anywhere. He'll be staying here with us until the end of the season.
Because we have seen in the past with Paul, haven't we, that he's been off elsewhere and it hasn't worked out. He's happy at the moment. He's playing good football, and presumably that's worth a lot, both to the club, obviously, but to him personally.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think Tails, no one wanted to take a chance on him in the summer. And now that he's playing well, it seems to people want to take a chance on him. So we've done well with Tails. We've got him back. He's highly thought of between the players. They think highly of him, both as a person and a player. He's changed his life around. He's got 2 little boys now, and he's settled down with his girlfriend and his wife. And he's a good lad, Tails. Good footballer, good attitude. Comes in every day, works hard. And he's done quite well on a whole when he's been in the team this year. Again, could score more goals. Because, like I say to you, people get judged on goals at this club, whether you're attacking midfield player or a striker. But his performances have been good, and he's very, very much part of my plans.